Today, we're off the beaten path and have escaped to an exceptionally special place, St. Vincent and the Grenadines. Just hearing the name evokes visions of exotic, unspoiled island life. And the fantasy, without doubt, rings true here like no other. The term, best kept secret, is way overused, but how else would you say it? It's the best kept secret of the Caribbean. But we're going to show you exactly why the secret won't be kept for very long. These islands are like nothing else in the Caribbean. Unspoiled, adventurous, and exotic. We're going to show you why your next escape should be to St. Vincent and the Grenadines. If you're looking for a destination off the beaten path and uncluttered by tourists, stay tuned because we've found it for you. You may be wondering, why does one country have two names? So let's start with a little overview to explain. St. Vincent and the Grenadines is a chain of 32 islands and keys in the Eastern Caribbean, but by far the largest and most inhabited island of the 32 is the main island called St. Vincent. Next to St. Vincent is a chain of much smaller islands, and they call that chain the Grenadines. So that's how you get St. Vincent and the Grenadines. The main island of St. Vincent is a throwback to colonial times, and you're going to want to spend some time exploring this awe-inspiring island. But if St. Vincent wears the colonial crown, then it's the Grenadine Islands that are the jewels. Once you venture out to the Grenadines, you'll see everything changes. White sand beaches, uninhabited islands, sky blue oceans, and postcard palm trees. It almost seems as though the Grenadine Islands are secretly in competition with each other, all vying to see which can most resemble heaven. So now that we've given you a little overview, let's start our escape on the main island, St. Vincent. Out of the 32 islands and keys that make up St. Vincent and the Grenadines, the capital, the largest city of them all, is Kingstown. Kingstown is a wonderful community complete with cobblestone streets and cute little markets. It also happens to boast a great deep-water harbor, making it really easy for cruise ships to get in here, which is another great way to see St. Vincent. The lofty mountains here should inspire you to seek higher ground so that you can take in the gorgeous panorama. And there are many places that you can go to have a look out at all the scenery of St. Vincent, the ocean and the mountains and the valleys, but none so spectacular as the view here from Fort Charlotte. Now, Fort Charlotte was built in 1763. It was primarily used for military. Now, they didn't finish it until 1806, but if you can see maybe the cannons behind me, they're not even pointed out to the ocean, they're pointed inland, because the threat was actually from the indigenous Caribs here that wanted Kingstown for themselves. Look at this view. Oh, this is a must come to, especially like all the cruise ships come in here and big groups of people. At around 3 or 4 o'clock, this place is just packed with tourists. Now, besides being just a wonderful view from Fort Charlotte, it also still has a working functional lighthouse, and one of the old barracks now doubles as an art gallery. By the luck of the draw, we're up here today during a very rare cloudy day. But they tell me most often here, the skies are blue. Even with the clouds, this outlook is a sight to behold. On a clear day, you can see out for miles. A must-see on the list of tourist destinations for St. Vincent is Rawaku Park. Now, this place is actually perfect for families. It comes complete with recreational complexes and gazebos and change rooms, everything you would pretty much want to spend a day here. The pièce de résistance right behind me is the salt pond. Now, it was actually, you can see this rim, it was created by a lava buff, but now the park is man-maintained, so nature-made but man-maintained. Other cool thing, check this out. Behind me over my shoulder, you can see the Grenadines. Now, this is a great way to get a grasp of the geography. We're here on the main island of St. Vincent, so it's kind of like the big island, but the Grenadines are like the little sister islands. So you're getting it? St. Vincent and the Grenadines. No matter where you are in the Caribbean, you're going to be guaranteed a few things: blue skies, blue water, sand, and palm trees. And if the sight of palm trees helps soothe your soul, then St. Vincent is sure to be your oasis. They seem to get so much more plentiful the closer you get to the equator. We're at Black Point Park in St. Vincent. Now, the scenery behind me may look a little bit familiar to some of you, especially if you're fans of the Pirates of the Caribbean movies. In fact, parts of each one of the movies were shot here on St. Vincent or in the surrounding islands. The black sand here, it's like little black glitter, or like sequins. And it's also very hot. My feet are really hot right now.
Alright, so there's a tunnel that we're going to check out. It's here. Come on. St. Vincent's primary crop now is bananas, but 200 years ago it was sugarcane. You know, they use it for making rum, Caribbean. See what I'm getting at? So the plantations were on this side, but the boats that would carry the sugarcane are on the other side. So they bored this tunnel as a shortcut. Now it's just a cool place to walk through, or if you're into sword fighting and black eyeliner, you could use it as a Hollywood movie set. Now the tunnel's not very long, as you can see. Behind me there's the other side. It's just under about 400 feet. Another really cool thing about these tunnels is check this out. They actually excavated caves here to make warehouses to store the sugar in for the processing and then bringing it out here to the ships that are waiting on the other side there so they could load up really quick when the seas were calm and take off with the sugar. That's pretty cool.
Walking through the tunnel is a definite photo op. To think of how much times have changed since it was built over 100 years ago, it certainly gives you visions of the many people who must have walked through this passageway. You really feel like you could be in a movie. Once through to the other side, you see the small bay used during colonial times. The scenery is very impressive and made me wish I'd had more time to explore the gorgeous coastline.
So we've just come out of the tunnel, as you can see behind me, and St. Vincent's spectacular coastline was just taking my breath away. It's absolutely amazing. Check this out. Remember the caves in there in the tunnel? Here's two more of the excavations that they used for the storage of the sugar, except for these are right beside the ocean, so they would have been first to load the ships. But now, on a nice hot sunny day, as the rainwater trickles through, it pools right here. And families come to Black Point Park to have picnics and spend time, and they actually go swimming in here. So, no matter who you're with, you're gonna have a good time. I made a friend. I don't know what kind of lizards these are, but they're everywhere in St. Vincent.
You can even get a great view of the Grenadine Islands from here. We're going to be checking them out soon enough. So back to the main island of St. Vincent. After a short drive through the more remote parts of the island, our guide pointed out the island's highest point, which he said was a volcano. This was about to be the closest I've ever been to a volcano, so I was quite excited. I wasn't sure how close I'd be able to get. It looked like quite a hike to get there, but nonetheless, it was quite a feeling being here. St. Vincent was proving to have so much to offer for whatever type of adventure you were looking for, and eco-travelers are sure to be pleased with the diversity.
St. Vincent is rugged mountainous beauty. Now, it doesn't get more rugged than an almost active volcano. And I say almost because Le Soufrière behind me had its last major eruption in 1979. But geologically speaking, that's like yesterday. Now you can see behind me, this is the start of the trail. It's about 2.5 hours each way. But don't worry, Sailors Wilderness Tours, if you go with them, they've got you covered. Coolers full of sandwiches and drinks, you're set.
Back to the tour bus for some more exploring. Normally when traveling, sitting in a vehicle, getting from point A to B can really feel like a chore, or worse, lost time. Not here. Driving through the mountainous winding roads of St. Vincent is an adventure all unto itself. A tour gives you a great feel for what life is like here on the island. We'd made our first stop at a beach, and it was getting lively with visitors from a cruise ship. Now, depending on your viewpoint, any beach is a good beach. But our guide said we wouldn't spend too long here because the beaches on the Grenadines were out of this world. And these mainland beaches, while nice, just didn't compare. I didn't have his frame of reference, but he assured me I'd understand later what he meant. But these cruise ship visitors here seem to be quite happy. The fishing boats give it a nice touch, and the friendly locals had welcoming smiles. No matter what you needed, be it beach chairs, umbrellas, boat tours, or even a refreshing cocktail, mainland St. Vincent was here waiting for me.
Here in St. Vincent, it's rugged and mountainous. Driving through here is actually pretty fun. The roads are really windy. And you can see behind me, they have black sand beaches. That's because it's a volcanic island. But it's a little bit different from the rest of the Grenadines though, because they all have the white sand beaches.
St. Vincent is magical. The dense vegetation and ubiquitous coconut trees and banana palms make for an insanely vivid landscape. It's like a throwback to a different Caribbean time, one before mass tourism took over. And other than pockets of people from the cruise ships, there really aren't many tourists here. So it's quite easy to submerge yourself in the distinct culture of the Vincentians. Speaking of the Vincentians, they're hardworking people, and you'll see that wherever you go on the island, around each corner, there seems to be a project going on. They take pride in their island, and it shows. Not to mention, the winding roads on this mountainous island are like a roller coaster, and they require a lot of maintenance. So with how much hard work they put into keeping them maintained, it makes you feel that much safer. Many of the roads are mere feet from a cliff. So if you're the type to get nervous easily, don't look down out the side window. If you're a thrill seeker though, you'll enjoy the ride. And if you love to check out the local wildlife when you travel, there are many SVG tours that help tourists see the many lovely creatures native to the region. Even if you're less structured about observing wildlife, that is, you're interested, but what you see is what you get, well, there are lots of exotic creatures that'll cross your path, all worthy of a look.
Now there's only one resort on the main island of St. Vincent, and that's Young Island Resort. We'll get to that in a minute. If you're not looking to stay at a resort though, there's tons of hotels to choose from, like the one right behind me here. It's a Paradise Beach Hotel. It's right on the beach with beautiful oceanfront view, and it's reasonably priced. There are over 50 places to stay here in St. Vincent. Now whether it's a resort or a hotel or a guest house, you can always find a place to stay. This is Beachcombers. There's about 30 rooms here. It's oceanfront. The rooms range from standard rooms to presidential suites. One of the features here at Beachcombers is the beautiful restaurant and patio with an oceanfront view. Attached to that is this inviting sun-drenched deck, complete with splash pool.
So as you can see, no matter what your budget, St. Vincent will have the perfect place for you. But now it's time to check out the resort we picked for our stay, the private island resort, Young Island.
So now we've shown you the other places to stay here in St. Vincent. Now we're going to show you where we're staying. It's a private island resort on Young Island. I felt like I should be a little bit more fancy, so I changed my dress. So here's where you wait for the water taxi to take you across the way. It's just 200 yards over there. That's Young Island, and it's right off the main island of St. Vincent. You ready for a water taxi ride? I am. I'm really excited. I've never been to a resort that you had to take a water taxi to get to before.
The legend has it that Young Island Resort was once the home of a Carib Indian chief who traded his island for one black stallion horse. Now, I'm no real estate buff, but that better have been one magical horse, because this island is supernatural.
First thing you notice when you step off the water taxi here at Young Island is that you feel like you stepped into a postcard or a screensaver or something. Everywhere you look, there are places to relax. How would you like to chill out in a hammock under a grass-thatched roof right here on the golden beaches of Young Island? It's the perfect place to escape from the hustle and bustle.
The imported white sand here eases ever so gently right into the Caribbean.
Young Island is a 35-acre, completely private island resort. The waters here are beautiful shades of aqua blues and marines, and across you can see the main island of St. Vincent, and the mountain ranges and the homes on the hilltop are beautiful shades of pastel. You can't not smile with this as a backdrop. Now, you've been to other resorts that have swim-up bars. Well, Young Island has them beat hands down. Right there is a swim-up ocean bar. Not only that, it's a coconut bar. Those are two of my favorite things. Just take a little jump over here and you can see the restaurant. All of these tables here under the thatched roofs are completely private. You can have breakfast, lunch, and dinner right here on the beach. We picked Young Island Resort because we think it's one of the most beautiful and perfect places for some R&R. Now, if you haven't been convinced so far by what you've seen, look at this pool. If you want to take a break from the beach, this is a perfect place to come and suntan amidst lush tropical gardens. Now, if this is this amazing, I can't wait to see what our rooms look like. This place is like nothing else I've ever seen. And the beauty of Young Island actually caught the eyes of Hollywood. Johnny Depp, Keira Knightley, Orlando Bloom, the director, and the cast and crew of Pirates of the Caribbean stayed here while they were filming. Let's go in. Even I feel like a celebrity staying in a room like this. Look at the view. Hammock out there, observation deck, pool out there. Wow, Wow, I can't wait to see the bedroom. Wow, you can really feel the breeze in here. All of the open air windows just puts that nice fresh ocean air on your face. I can imagine I'm gonna have an incredible sleep here. It's like being in a dream. This must be the bathroom. Wow, everywhere seems to be open air, including the shower. Open air shower, now that's gotta be refreshing. Now, what's out here on this side? Close the bathroom door and all of a sudden, we're on the patio. I could get a really good suntan out here. And the rum flows like water in the Caribbean. So this pool would be a great place to have a few cocktails. This is your backdrop, right oceanfront. This cottage, you can't ask for a better resort than this. Ah, smell the air and feel the sunshine. Oh, and it's not stopping there. There's a hammock and a secondary observation deck. I've never stayed at a place before that had its own private observation deck. Look at the view out here. You get the beautiful morning sunrise. I can just picture myself sitting here and having morning coffee or room service in my robe. Absolutely gorgeous. Young Island is definitely a gem of the Caribbean.
Grab a coconut drink and a chaise lounger and let Young Island do the rest. And whether you pick a room or a private cottage, you can customize your degree of seclusion. Sunbathe on a mattress either in private or on the beach and rejuvenate yourself under the gorgeous blue sky. Oh, and be prepared for the odd guest to come over and say hi. And just so you know, the water taxi runs 24 hours. So don't worry if you want to plan a late night or two off the island. There's a phone on the mainland that calls over to the boat, so the taxi's never further than a few minutes away. I actually didn't mind the odd wait. It gave me some time to play with the funny little crabs on the dock. Right across from Young Island Resort is a boardwalk lined with different types of restaurants and bars. There's a bunch of different fusion cuisines on the menu, so you want to experiment with your choices. I highly recommend the coconut bread. It's delicious. Dining right on the Caribbean Sea at sunset is superb. The marina also has a great view of the Grenadines. If St. Vincent has been so wonderful, I can only wonder what the Grenadines have in store. There's nothing more inspiring in this world than a gorgeous sunset, and in that, St. Vincent delivers. Taking a holiday is all about stopping to smell the flowers and watching the sun go down. Young Island Resort even has a sunset observation deck to take it all in. I feel blessed being here, and in such a short time I've already forgotten about the hectic lifestyle of back home. And I just hope this place will be able to keep forever its quaint charm. It's funny, the first European visitors here started spreading false rumors about St. Vincent, that it was a miserable, insignificant desert. They totally made it up, hoping that no one else would ever dare to come. They lied, because they wanted to keep it a best-kept secret and all to themselves. As devious a plan as that was, I get it. We're here in St. Vincent and the Grenadines, and after spending our first couple days on the main island of St. Vincent, it was finally time to take to the sea and visit our first Grenadine island. Our first leg of island hopping would bring us to Bequia, the largest island in the Grenadine chain. Largest, though, is a bit of a misnomer, since it's only 7 square miles. As soon as you get here, you can certainly feel the difference comparing St. Vincent to the Grenadines. It feels like you're somewhere tucked away from the rest of the world, like you're privileged and part of a secret. I love it!
Our first stop on our trip through the Grenadines is the island of Bequia. Now we found another beauty of a gem for all you would-be travelers. I'm here on the beach of the Bequia Beach Hotel. Can you see this beach? There is practically not a soul in sight here. You basically have the entire beach to yourself. I put my toes in that water. It's between 25 and 30 degrees at least. Now, Bequia Beach, the seclusion and the beauty of it have caught the eyes of even celebrities like Jude Law and Rachel Weisz. But I bet you're thinking, if it caters to celebrities, it's probably pretty expensive, right? Wrong. In fact, you and 3 friends could even rent a villa here for about $100 per person per night. Now, whether or not you're a celebrity and you want to do nothing, or you're a tourist and you want to try to do it all, there's fishing tours, and actually you can take a chartered boat out to, just behind me here, there's secluded islands, uninhabited, nobody lives there, and the captain and the crew of the boat will take you into a lagoon and actually throw a barbecue for you right on the beach. How cool is that? I can't wait to see what the rooms look like.
Bequay lives up to everything I've been told about the island. And this Bequay Beach Hotel, right on the water, is a dream come true.
The split-level suites here at the Bequay Beach Hotel are beautifully decorated to reflect the old flair for the Caribbean style. Now, we're only staying here one night, but I could easily stay here for 2 weeks. When we walked in, it definitely rated high on my wow factor. And check out the view. A beautiful 200 square foot terrace with cozy lounge chairs so you can sit here and take in the view of the beautiful ocean front here at the Bequay Beach. Now, I can't wait to go and see the villas. The path to all the villas here at the Bequay Beach is actually called the Caribbean Street. Now it's lined with coconut palms and mango trees, and each one of these cottages is actually named after each one of the Grenadine Islands. Now we're going to get a chance to go see the Bequay Villa. So here we are at the Bequay Villa. Now the walk down the Caribbean Street led us here to the very end, to the Bequay. They are so cute. It actually reminds me something of like a 1950s Hollywood flick or something. Now the bedrooms in here are absolutely huge. There's 2 bedrooms, there's like a full kitchenette. You and 3 friends, this is what I was talking about. You can rent this for like $100 per person per night. And then you guys can all hang out in your own private infinity pool. The French doors off the living room open up right to the infinity pool. Now there are huge, 2 huge bedrooms in here, and they both have ensuite bathrooms. We're going to take a look at this one. When I said huge bedrooms, I meant huge bedrooms. Like I've stayed in hotel rooms that have been the size of this bedroom alone. And then of course, with a nice big room, comes an even bigger, nicer, comfier bed. I really enjoyed my stay on the island of Bequay, and more specifically at the Bequay Beach Hotel. It was so hot today, the sun was amazing. I'm thinking about taking a dip in this gorgeous infinity pool, which, by the way, happens to overlook the patio and the bar. So when you need a drink, it's not far away, and the service here is really quick. See what I mean? What a great way to finish a day.
They certainly were incredible at the Bequay Beach Hotel, and the next time I come, I assure you, it won't be for a night. I could really see myself spending a week or 2 here, without a doubt. On the drive back to the ferry, you get a real sense of the charm that is Bequay. The landscape is dotted with colorful homes, and the people have a certain way about them that only island life can instill. I wish we had some extra time to check out one of the many restaurants, but that would have to wait till my next visit, because I'm definitely coming back.
Hey, I'm at the Kingstown Harbor here on the island of St. Vincent. We're going to go with Fantasy Tours today on their super fast catamaran boat. We're going to take a tour of the Grenadine Islands. We're going to stop at Tobago Keys, and our final destination will be Palm Island.
These islands have enchanted sailors for thousands of years, and with one look, you can see why. They say this just might be the greatest island hopping route the world has to offer. The beauty here is absolutely dreamlike. The Grenadines were once the realm of some real hardcore pirates. Now it's just a movie backdrop for Hollywood pirates, Caribbean style. I highly recommend an excursion on a catamaran. It really cuts into the waves and makes for an enjoying glide through the sea. I don't get seasick, but for those that do, this is your boat. This vessel, operated by Fantasy Tours, has tons of room and a very friendly crew to serve us. Oh, and if you're so inclined, the boat has a bar. I recommend the rum punch. The waters here seem to be part of an ever-changing kaleidoscope of blues, greens, and seemingly limitless shades of aquamarine. I brought my camera, but after taking a few shots and looking at them after, I didn't know why. The lens just wasn't catching how beautiful things were when looking at them through my eye. And if the water wasn't enough, the islands just seemed to gloat their beauty as they pillar out from the ocean. Looking out, it's just dawning on me, there's not 1 or 2 or even 10 of these little islands. Oh no, there's 32. 32! It could take you weeks to discover them all, let alone spend quality time on them. If there's one thing I'm going to do differently after this trip, it's play the lottery. This is the stuff dreams are made of. Or better yet, lottery commercials. But really, you don't have to win a lottery to visit here. I guarantee you, it doesn't cost that much more to come here than most other destinations. It's just that little extra 20 or 30 minutes in a plane that discourages people from coming. But really, that's likely a good thing, since it conspires to keep St. Vincent a best-kept secret. To give you an idea, we're going to visit 4 islands today, but that's a really speedy tour. And as you'll see, you could spend an entire day on just one island. But if you're into doing it the fast way, or just want to scout out which island will suit you best, survey tours are available. This is the closest I've ever been to the equator. I don't usually get a sunburn, but wow! I'm noticing how much more intense the sun seems to be. If you're not one to already religiously put on sunscreen, this trip will change your mind. We're getting close to our first stop, the Tobago Keys. Now, if an island isn't big enough to earn the distinction of being called an island, they end up calling it a key. You could say it gets Plutoed. And just to clear up any confusion, the Tobago Keys have nothing to do with Trinidad and Tobago. The Tobago Keys are a group of 5 keys. Now, you're probably going to recognize one of them, but more on that later. The islands are uninhabited and were purchased by St. Vincent and the Grenadines over the last couple decades. They used to be privately owned, but are now considered a collective called the Tobago Keys Marine Park, which is owned by the government of St. Vincent and the Grenadines. We slowed down to pick up some more passengers and saw some local fishermen. If you like fresh seafood, you are in for a treat.
Our first stop today on our tour of the Grenadines is the Tobago Keys. It has the best unspoiled natural marine park in the world, and it's also the first place that I've been to in St. Vincent and the Grenadines that has the white sand beaches. It's absolutely picture perfect.
So we were on Petit Bateau of the Tobago Keys, and what an enchanting little island. You can walk from end to end in literally under a minute. From the other side, I was going to be able to get a glimpse of another Tobago Key, the storied Petit Tabac. The moment wasn't going to be complete without a bottle of rum, so I brought that along as well. Let me explain.
Recognize that island behind me? No? Well, hey, let me give you a hint. So that's the story of the great Captain Jack Sparrow, who spent 3 days lying on a beach drinking rum.
Welcome to the Caribbean, love.
It's actually called Petit Tabac, and it's one of the 4 islands that makes up the Tobago Keys. Now, you've probably seen Pirates of the Caribbean. I know I liked it. You would think that's probably some Hollywood magic set somewhere. Nope, it's actually an island. There it is right there, Petit Tabac in the Tobago Keys.
These islands and keys are a very big deal among the yachties, or cocktail cruise club. If you're into sailing, you can even rent one all to yourself. They say it's the most spectacular anchoring in the Caribbean. The sightlines here are out of this world, and at first you just won't believe a place like this exists. I just wanted to put my bathing suit on and dive in. But alas, our schedule was tight and we'd only be here for a short time. Quite a shame.
Wow. But why is the rum gone?
I'd at least be able to wade my feet through the sparkling water. It's unbelievable how few people I've seen today. I was told that less than 10,000 people visit the Tobago Keys each year. That's less than 30 people a day. Over 5 islands. Oops, I mean keys, of course. The low traffic helps keep it unspoiled. It really is awe-inspiring to know that there are still places like this left in the world. It's absolutely immaculate, and the beauty is epic. And for all you snorkel enthusiasts out there, the Tobago Keys is well known for a very large horseshoe-shaped reef. So whether you're experienced at snorkeling or just beginning, the calm, shallow waters are a proven delight.
Oh look, beachfront dining. Service here is terrible.
This is a national park and natural refuge, so there are a few common sense rules to your visit. There's a big sign when you arrive that explains all the do's and don'ts.
Look at little tiny shells everywhere. Don't take them home though. It's part of what keeps it so beautiful here. You're not supposed to take anything from the islands while you're here.
I have never met a person who did not love walking on the beach next to water, splashing on your feet. There really is nothing like it. And of all the beaches I've been to, this one stands alone at the top. Well, that's my short visit to the Tobago Keys. Off for some more exploring. And don't forget my rum. Prop.
Our second stop today on our tour of the Grenadines is the island of Irie. Now it's just around the bay from the Tobago Keys, and it seems that every island I visited in my trip to St. Vincent The Grenadines has been more beautiful than the last. Now this one, since it's bigger, has a little bit more services. There's actually a restaurant, and I can see right over there, there's some vendors with some wraps and jewelry. I'm gonna go check that out.
Irie is off the grid, even by Grenadine standards. They only got electricity in 2002. And the total population? 300. I think that number even includes the parrots. And most importantly, you can stay here. But the island in total has only 15 rooms up for grabs, so book early. Back to our catamaran, and oh, did the Grenadines have something special in store for us. Now, if you visited a lot of resorts, you sort of get the idea. And although most are very unique in their beauty, well, once in a while you come across a place that just blows you away. That, for me, was going to be our next destination. A little private island resort called Palm Island. This is a place like nothing I've ever seen, and my only hope is that I can somehow do it justice in showing you guys just how special a place this is.
We're here at Palm Island. It's a 132-acre private, all-inclusive resort. Now, it's the only thing here on the island, and the resort actually owns the island. Now, they've kept it to about 43 rooms here, so you get that extra intimate feel. And it's the craziest thing. The staff here actually know you by your first name before you even set foot on the dock.
Now, if I look a little giddy, it's because this just might be, for me, one of the most special places on the entire planet. Every single room here is either on the beach or has an ocean view. Garden of Eden, Shangri-La, Utopia, Promised Land, take your pick. Whatever you like. I just simply call it heaven. The Palm Island Resort is the type of place that resort owners must go to get away from it all.
The rooms here at the Palm Island Resort are first rate, but it doesn't matter if you stay in a beachfront cottage like this, or you get a suite, or you rent a villa. You're not going to want to spend a lot of time in your room anyway. Have you seen the outside? Oh, did I mention? Complimentary minibar, so that you can always have a drink on the go.
And with only 43 rooms, Palm Island is almost always at capacity. It's not impossible to get a reservation. Just give yourself some lead time, as most of their business is repeat customers, which is always a good sign.
Cell phone junkies and workaholics beware. Here at the Palm Island Resort, they take their R&R time very seriously.
And for those who stay here and want to get out and explore the rest of the Grenadines, Palm Island has a great option.
Now, the Palm Island Resort has its own sailing ship, if you will. It's right behind me. It's called the Pink Lady. They take you on about a 4-hour trip of the Grenadines, including the Tobago Keys. And I've even heard that they will actually take you to a beach and have a barbecue for you. How cool is that?
Palm Island is only about a mile from one of the bigger Grenadine islands, Union Island, so you're never further away than a quick water taxi from civilization. But really, why bother? You're here for an escape, so just sit back, relax, and let the sun and beach recharge your soul. The color palette in every direction is a feast for your eyes, and that had me wondering if I was in a dream or not. It's that stunning.
If your idea of an escape involves a little bit less surf and a little bit more swim, the Palm Island Resort has a beautiful pool tucked in just behind the beachfront cottages.
There's tons of activities to do here. Too many to list for you, really. But trust me, if you get sick of laying around all day, they have plenty of great things to keep you busy. You get 3 amazing meals a day here as part of your package, and there's 2 restaurants. For my first dinner, I was taken aback by how full the restaurants seemed to get at mealtime. The island seemed so quiet during the day, but then at night, wow, the quiet island really came alive. And everyone's so social and friendly and in a great mood. It really was something unique.
Palm Island has absolutely gorgeous white sand beaches. The white is not imported sand, it's actually coral sand. If you can see this, it's like tiny little pieces of shell and coral. The waves have bashed up against the coral reefs for like thousands of years, making all of this lovely sand for us to suntan on.
We've been lucky enough to stumble upon one of the greatest private island resorts I have ever been to, the Palm Island Resort in the Grenadine Islands. Our stay here has been quite memorable. The resort offers private picnics to its guests, complete with your own chef. We were invited along by Tom and Joanne and their daughter Megan, and it reminded me of one of the greatest parts about traveling, the people. You really get to meet great people from all over the world you otherwise never would have had a chance to meet from all walks of life. And sharing your time in paradise with other great folks just adds to the fun. I was so impressed by Palm Island Resort, I wanted to go straight to the source and find out how they managed to make this place so amazing.
Hi, I'm here with the general manager of the Palm Island Resort. This is Chris.
Lindsay, welcome to Palm Island. Pleasure having you on Palm.
Thank you. It's gorgeous. I don't want to go home.
Great, great. We're happy to have you.
Can I ask you, what is it that's sort of the heart and soul for you about Palm Island?
Some of the aspects we pride ourselves on at Palm Island is our ability to give our guests lighter, healthier option food. We have a greenhouse on island, so you'll find that most of the fruits, vegetables and herbs that you get in your menu, be it lunch, be it breakfast, be it dinner, they're all incorporated through the greenhouse. They're all organic, and this is what you'll be eating on a daily basis on Palm Island.
You know what I really like too is it almost seemed like the second I put my foot on the sand, somebody was greeting me with a drink and they knew my first name.
It's one of the things again on Palm Island when our guests arrive on the jetty. I'm there to greet you, my staff are there to greet you. So you'll find that on a daily basis as you go around, they will greet you by your names, and it's not a facade. They would have already have all the details before you came on island, and they greeting you, meeting you at the jetty. When one hears the name, it's a special feeling. So I hear my name for my staff, it's a special feeling to me. Yeah. My guest hears their name for my staff, it's a special feeling to them.
Yeah, and I've all the resorts and the places that I've traveled to, I have never had that happen anywhere. It's amazing, no matter where I was. Like he's saying, this morning the gardener, good morning Miss Lindsay, at dinner last night, oh, what can I get you Miss Lindsay? You're right, it's just a really special feeling.
Well, I'm happy you've experienced it yourself. It's a home away from home feeling. Significantly to the Palm Island progress, you'll find that when my guests arrive, and we've also taken into consideration that they would have been traveling for an entire day. So there is no formality when you arrive. In fact, the only formality will be to offer you a beverage at the jetty, and after that we'll whisk you straight away to your room. Lindsay, we've even had clients check in on the day they're checking out. That is how laid back we are on Palm Island. We have your bags, we know where you are, we can easily locate you. It's only 132 acres, so it's no fuss, it's no pressure on our guests to come by the front office in their own leisure time and just check it.
I can't tell you how great that is. Instead of, I'm sure you've been there before, you're there and you got off the plane and you're sweaty and you're tired and you're thirsty, but then you have to stand in line at the reception, and it's the big process of all that. So to literally come off the dock and have a cocktail handed to you and have you whisked away to your air-conditioned what is it, your room, or go to the pool, wherever you want to, as soon as you get here. No fuss, no muss, just pure relaxation. I can't tell you how great this is, and I can't wait till I come back.
Vincy, we'll be more than happy to have you back, all right?
Chris, thanks so much.
Pleasure having you, okay? And we do hope to have you back again. It's your home away from home, all right? Whenever you're there.
I'm going to have my mail forwarded here and change my address.
We'll be happy to have you. I'll just build you another bungalow on the other end of the island, all right? Okay?
Well, after a long trip, it was finally time to don my bathing suit and get into the perfect blue water. And hey, they had snorkel equipment at the resort, and it was totally free of charge. Free is an anomaly in the holiday world, but not here. It's against the Palm Island philosophy. Snorkeling is amazing. A few bits of plastic and you can turn a mysterious underworld into a voyeur's backyard. I had only dreamt of flying before, but by far, this was the closest in reality to flying I have ever been. Did I feel like a big kid while snorkeling, or more like a mermaid? Hard to tell. But one thing is certain, it makes you feel symbiotic with the sea and Mother Earth. As for in a world you can see with this mask on, you'll still feel very safe and connected to your beach chair, your towel, and of course, your drink. It's only at this very moment that I realize the most incredible things to discover when traveling are free. I always thought the saying, "the best things in life are free," was a total cliche. But for the first time in my life, I finally understand what my elders meant. Nature is the ultimate entertainer. And here, on Palm Island, nature had a captive audience in me. I was told that people spend 30 hours researching a vacation. I know people work hard, and when they finally make time to get away, many of them just want to plop down on a beach and be pampered at an all-inclusive mega resort. And hey, you know what? I've done that as well. But if I've learned one thing from this trip, it's that it truly is rewarding to the soul to take the extra time to find out about the roads less traveled. Exploring is good for the soul. And the more you expose yourself to new things, the more you can discover about yourself. I certainly did, here in St. Vincent and the Grenadines.